Is it possible to beat Batman Arkham Asylum without using detective mode? And not only that, but also with no upgrades and on hard mode? And not only that, but also while having the game on lowest brightness? Well, let's quit the talking so you guys can find out. Since we already know the story for this game, I'm not really going to explain the plot. So let's just get used to what the game looks like on lowest brightness.
Ooh, it's my favorite show. I'm one idiot.
Alright, you should be used to it by now, which is just in time for our first Predator encounter. Looks like all we have to do is grapple up to...
Keep away.
Bruh, yeah, we can't grapple up to the gargoyle unless we use detective mode. Now, if I was using speedrunning tactics, I could definitely get through this whole game without using detective mode. But I'm not really allowing for glitches for this challenge, so we're just gonna have to conclude that you cannot beat Batman Arkham Asylum without using detective mode. Alright, so let's tally up a point on the fail counter and move on. Alright, so this part should be pretty easy since I already know where to go. So I can just... And the door's locked. Yeah, so these doors only unlock after you scan Bob's bare breath, and that requires using detective mode. So guess what? That's another fail. If I'm gonna be honest, the real challenge here isn't really beating the game without detective mode. It's actually really getting through the Predator rooms without using detective mode. Probably a better video for these set of rules would be, can I get all the Predator medals without using detective mode and on lowest brightness? Man, but look, I recorded this whole game, and I'll be mad if I don't get at least one video out of it. Alright, with 2 fails, let's move on to the next section. Finally, a part we can get past without using detective mode. You can't be serious. These thugs clearly have guns, since they just ratio these freaking guards over here. But Batman still has to use detective mode in order to find that out. Even if I try walking past these goobers, I get ratio. There's nothing you can do. So that's another tally on the fail counter. Finally at the real first Predator room. And it shouldn't be that hard for me since I've pretty much memorized where every thug is. The second wave is just as easy since I know every direction these goobers go. Riddler's not really important for this cause who cares about him? Alright, so we're at Gordon's pipe. Pause on that one. Luckily, we could just run right past it. If only the game let us do this before. And just like the first Predator room, this will be easy since I've been taking these goons out the exact same way for years. When we come back to this room, we could just skip these losers. Scarecrow was nothing to worry about, so now just time to save Gordon. I guess that ain't nothing to worry about either. And of course Bane, as always, is so easy to... The part where you have to save cash is still pretty easy for me, but this is when the challenge requires me to be a little bit more patient. When the goons start walking all over the place, it's pretty impossible to tell where they are, so I have to keep count of how many thugs I have left. The only problem was I wasn't smart enough to scan the room before I started taking thugs out. And when these goobers start walking everywhere, it's like I just have no clue where they are. I just have to like take one thug out and then wait for some of them to go over and check how that thug is doing. So what I'm getting at here is this room was mad easy, bruh. One of my biggest pet peeves with Arkham Origins is how long some of the crime scene investigations are. Sure, they're cool on the first playthrough, but by the time you get to the third playthrough, they're really not fun anymore. I feel like a lot of games have this problem where even if the player knows exactly what to do or exactly where to go, the game still forces them to do something else before they can do that one thing. And because of that, it's time to put another tally on the fail counter. Even though I know exactly where Dr. Young hid the formula, I still have to scan her fingerprints in detective mode, and when I follow her fingerprints there, I have to use detective mode again to pull out the most obvious book ever. Like, come on. And here's the first Predator room death. This goober saw me grappling on the gargoyles, and I got completely obliterated. But second time's a charm, and I played it a little smarter this time and took these dudes out easily. And since I'm so good at this game, I easily saved these 2 hostages with my stealth skills. Just like with Dr. Young's fingerprints, I still have to use detective mode to get through this part. There's no option to rip over the covering, and there's also no option to backclaw the thing open, so it looks like that's another tally. So I guess this room has a curse since I died here again. I tried gliding behind this guy, but Batman just had to touch this wall right here. But as we all know, second time's the charm. The backclaw is definitely the most useful gadget for this challenge because all you have to do is just put one guy to sleep and then wait for his little buddies to show up. Now it's time to find Killer Croc, but before that, one last Predator encounter, which I died in.
Like, I'm so done with him. I'm just done. It's too much.
So I accidentally dropped down too early right in front of this guy's face. And then like a dummy, I get caught with some 5.56 NATO rounds after going ham with the backclaw. But of course, The second time's the charm, man. I remember when I was like 5 and I used to never want to play the Killer Croc part. The only other game to ever make me feel like that was Alien Isolation. Bruh, I've been playing that game since like 2019 and I'm still nowhere near the end. Now when it comes to Killer Croc, he's still pretty easy. Poison Ivy is definitely the hardest boss fight in this whole game. Maybe even the whole series. This moment right here.
I will crush you like the insect. You're nothing but food now, Batman.
Almost made me jump in a pit of needles. I fell and learned to pick myself back up. I rose from the pit. I persevered. I came back to defeat my greatest foe yet. I died again. And now it's time for the worst boss fight in the game. Deathstroke in the tank. Oh, sorry, I meant Steroid Joker. After having a Poison Ivy moment, I beat this goofy goober and completed the challenge. Well, 80% of it. Out of the 5 rules, I had to break 1. If anyone can find a way to beat the game without detective mode and without glitches, please let us know in the comments. If this video was not enjoyable to watch, then please do not like the like button. But if it was enjoyable to watch, then you know what to do. Peace out. Adios. Ciao. Ni hao. Aloha.
Man, shut your